on va manger. This one can have 2 pastas and the cappuccino.
Alright guys, I just arrived at my 100th country. I'm so excited. Malta looks absolutely amazing. Honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be so developed. And I went to this place, I think it's called Casa. It's right as you exit the airport. And I got their tea fit Casa. This is just some tea and they put some milk in it, or they let you put your milk in it. And then I got a little pastry here. I'm not really sure what this pastry is, but it looks delicious. It's like a Pop-Tart with powdered sugar and something inside. It's really good. I'm gonna get headed over to my Airbnb, and I'm so excited to bring you guys along with me for this. This is gonna be so much fun. I can already tell I'm gonna love Malta. So it was a good country to pick for my 100th. Alright guys, I just purchased a 6-day Metro card. It's unlimited and it was only about 28 euros. And it takes you all the way to Gozo, which is the upper island in the north. It takes you all the way up there. So now we're just gonna get on X1 and get over to the Airbnb. And I cannot believe it, you guys. This is country 100. I'm so happy to have made it to 100 countries. This is awesome. Alright guys, I got off the bus and said take a quick break in Valletta. We're going to head over to the Starbucks Reserve really quick. This is the Triton Fountain. Not sure what year it was made, but it has some, looks like some mermen, some male mermaids at the very top. This is like no other Starbucks I have ever seen before. They actually have an actual bar in the Starbucks here. And there's also a downstairs, this Starbucks Reserve. I ordered an Italian meringue macchiato, cloud macchiato, and they put it in this really cool cup. It's like a reusable cup, and it says, "Have a good day." I also got an apricot croissant. Alright guys, it's my second day here in Malta, and we're going to head over to St. Paul's Bay. Malta is super, super hot. I'm here at the end of August, and it is really hot. The sun's really hot, and it's also really windy. So if you guys are coming here and you're a female, maybe bring hair ties or something for your hair. I'm probably going to go get a hat because it's just so hot and I don't want to turn into a lobster. Yeah, so let's get on the bus and head to St. Paul's Bay. This is a residential area near St. Paul's Bay. Alright guys, and this is St. Paul's Harbor today. Lots and lots of boats. Malta is definitely a popular tourist destination, so you'll see tons of tourists here. Their population is about 500,000, but I think half the people who are actually here today are tourists. So yeah, super pretty place to come vacation. It's very, very well known among Europeans. Yeah, very modern. I wasn't expecting it to be this modern, to be honest. This is a historic courthouse here in Malta. I'm going to butcher the name, but I think it's Torita Wingina Court. And it's right off the ocean. Yeah. Really cool looking building. So St. Paul's Bay was named after Paul the Apostle in the New Testament. He was a Pharisee, and before he was Paul, he was Saul, and he would persecute Christians. Basically, he would go around and just try to find Christians to put on trial or basically Christians to attack. Kind of like today, right? We have a world that basically hates Christians. They hate Christianity. Paul converted, right? He went from Saul to Paul. So after he converted into a Christian, started telling people about Jesus, and he was doing this in modern day Israel. The Jewish people, or the Israelites, were very, very unhappy with Paul. They didn't like that he was gaining a large following of Christians, and he got sent to trial over in Israel. The judge there wouldn't hear the case. So the judge basically sent Paul over to Rome to be tested. He was going to be put on trial over in Rome. So he was on a ship, he was on a prisoner ship going from Israel to Rome. And along the way, Paul tells the captains, hey, there's something wrong. You know, God's telling me that the ship's going to have problems. They continued on the journey. They didn't think that anything was wrong with the ship. The captain didn't stop. So that's eventually how they got shipwrecked in Malta. And you guys, yesterday when I was flying into Malta, I can tell you that it is really, really windy. The coastline of Malta is so windy, you guys. And it talks about that in the New Testament, how windy it was on the ship, and how they were throwing cargo over the ship, you know, to try to save some people because the ship was going down. But anyways, as the story goes, Paul gets to Malta, and it says he's greeted with kindness in the New Testament. He meets locals here in Malta, and they build a big fire. Paul gets bitten by a snake. The locals were not impressed, but they took note that he didn't have any ill side effects. He wasn't, you know, killed by the snake, and he didn't have any problems with the snake, basically. So that kind of got him kind of favorable recognition, or I guess God gave him, you know, that favorable recognition from the local people of Malta. And in the next 3 months, he lived in a cave, which is called Paul's Grotto. We're going to go there too. But he ended up going to a cave and living there for 3 months. And then he ended up healing some notable people in Malta. The leaders of Malta converted to Christianity after that. And today, if you look around Malta, it is very Christian-centered. It's a very Christian-centered country. Of course, it's been through a lot more since 60 AD. So, you know, the British came to Malta. They ruled, the Spanish ruled Malta. Malta has a ton of history. There's also an island that I'll try to go to. I don't know if I'm going to make it there, but I think it's called Camino Island, where during the Crusades, all of the basically all of the soldiers that defended Christianity from the Moors or the Muslims were over in this island. So there's a lot of Christian history here. It's a really special place for me to come see. And I'm really happy it got to be my 100th country, because yeah, it's definitely a place that I would want to save for a special event or a special trip. So yeah, let's keep going, and yeah, let's go explore some more of Malta. I also just want to mention, you guys, if you're trying to use buses here in Malta, which I wouldn't recommend, but if you did what I did and you're using buses, you have to flag them down. They don't stop at every single stop. There's also no internet here. I have no data. I have T-Mobile, so 2 thumbs down, T-Mobile. They have Wi-Fi on the buses, but it's not the best Wi-Fi, so that's kind of a bummer. If you guys come here, you might want to get a SIM card or something. All right, guys, so now we're kind of in the middle of Malta. We're headed up to a city gate. And also the name Malta comes from Melita, and that translates to safe haven. That again goes back to the Apostle Paul. When he came to Malta, this was kind of a safe haven for him. Well, it was a break, 3-month break before he eventually went to Rome. But we're coming to the city gate, and I don't know how to pronounce the name of this town, so I'm not sure, but it's M-D-I-N-A, maybe Medina? I'm not sure. But look at the city gate, you guys. Isn't this so amazing? Wow. Oh no, thank you. Oh, this is kind of creepy, but the Romans started using Malta as a place to exile their prisoners in 210. And this is some of the dungeons that were built. The rest of the complex was built in the 1700s. It was kind of finished by the Spanish, so there's a lot of Baroque style in the complex. Oh, this is so creepy. Yuck. There was also an Arab period when the Arabs occupied Malta in AD 870. And the Bishop of Malta was imprisoned in Sicily for having provided the Byzantine army with grain during the Arab struggle for Sicily. And the Muslims had their own punishments where they would press their victims. They would crush them beneath a pile of stones after being tied to the ground. So.
Then quartered and beheaded by the public executioner, and their dripping heads were placed on spikes on the nearby battlements.
Michelangelo, the artist, was also imprisoned in Malta, and he escaped and he fled to Sicily, where he got malaria and then died later on. So this is supposed to be Michelangelo. When people would steal, they would cut their hands off. They would stick needles through their tongues if they were accused of blasphemy. And slaves who refused to work had their ears cut off. Just like in the rest of Europe, there were witch trials for people accused of witchcraft here in Malta too. This happened in the US too, but not very regularly. This museum, it's also called the Dark Walk Museum, and it's dark, you guys. I'm getting freaked out, and I know it's fake, but it's so creepy. St. Paul's Cathedral is also in this little like maze of walls and apartments or whatever the buildings are around here. St. Paul's Cathedral, and I don't know if this is true or not, but they think that that's where Publius's house was. Publius was the ruler of Malta when Paul came, and he went and healed his dad. His dad had dysentery, so they think that the cathedral that they have set up is where the house was, but I don't really believe that. I don't know if they can really trace back a home that was years ago, but maybe it is. And I mean, if you look at this, I mean, it's historic. You can tell it's old. So this is supposed to be the place where Publius's house was. Paul stayed with him for 3 nights. Again, they don't really know, but it was said that the Catholic Church built a cathedral here called St. Paul's Cathedral to commemorate the space. So they won't let you enter here, and they only take cash, and I don't have cash on me, so I will not be going inside St. Paul's Cathedral today. But this is the place that they say Paul was for 3 nights, so it's kind of interesting to come see this, and it's really, really beautiful and pretty, of course. Back in the day, they used to have, I think it was called Malta fever. Basically, Malta fever, they think it came from goat's milk, but it was a disease that lasted maybe 3 to 4 months, but on some rare occasions it could last up to like 3 or 4 years. So that's what they think Publius's dad had. It doesn't say that in the Bible either. That's just speculation from historical notes. This is a really cool place. I think the only place similar to this that I've been to is probably Turkey, with these little narrow walkways. It's really cool to come see this. Right now we're headed over to Paul's catacombs. They also call this Paul's grotto. They think that these are the caves that Paul stayed in while he was in Medina for 3 months. But again, I don't really know if they know that. I think that's kind of speculation. Who knows? You know, who knows if they're the actual caves. St. Paul's catacombs. We are headed the right way. All right, we are here, you guys. Let's go see if we can get a ticket. Oh, that's loud. They believe that these catacombs are 15 miles long, which actually extends them all the way into the seabed. And of course the catacombs, they're basically tunnels that were dug to bury people in. So these ones were used a lot by the Romans, but they were here prior to the Romans as well. So they've been here a really, really long time. They're not sure exactly when they were built though. All right guys, here we go. We're actually going inside. Bodies were so much smaller back then. I don't think I could fit in one of these. A lot of them are really small too. I think a lot of these are like tombs for babies or children. And they also had paintings on a lot of the tombs. These are the places where the tombs were. These little places that are dug out. These are all places where tombs would have been. Again, more tombs for bodies. It's amazing to see this. There's not many places in the world that still have, you know, places where you could see the tombs that were built so many years ago. And think about, you know, how Jesus was buried in a tomb, that this is what it would have looked like over in Italy. So this is really cool to come see. This is a tomb for a family where 6 adults and 1 child would have been buried. There's 2 other entrances to the catacombs. There's one over here, and there's one over here. So the entrances were kind of marked with these large, I don't know what you call these, tiny little buildings where you could see them standing up to find the entrance. A portion of Game of Thrones was also filmed here, so they have like a little shop you can go buy Game of Thrones stuff at. Gotta be careful if you board the buses. You guys, I know I'm gonna butcher this, but we're over in the Salima area. I don't know how to say it, but it's a really pretty area. There's some shopping malls up here. I'm gonna go across the street to Starbucks. There's also a Zara up here as well. All right, guys, so today we're headed back to La Vuelta, the capital. I don't feel like I got enough time there, so I want to go back. I do want to go to the other two islands, but I think I'm going to save those for another trip later down the line, because I only booked 4 nights here and it's not enough time. I think it would have been if I had rented a car, but yeah, next time I know to rent a car and then go to the other islands. So I'm going to do that next time. You guys, we are back in the capital, and these are one of my favorite things, these pastorijas. I don't know how to pronounce them, but they're so good. I ate like 5 of these yesterday. They were so delicious. I'm gonna get a ricotta one. You guys, this is a cherry and chocolate slice that they have here at the Starbucks Reserve. It is so good. It's like a crispy milk chocolate brownie, and then these cherries on top are really sweet, and they're kind of tart too, but they're really, really good. And then I got a couple other Maltese snacks. So this one is, I don't know how to pronounce this, but I got it from a place called Oopsie. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing that. But they were just outside, and they specialize in this piazza, which are like these little flaky treats that they have here in Malta. They're so delicious. These are super, super popular. I think I got this one with, I think it actually has peas inside of it, but I'm going to try that. And then these things are so good. I literally ate 5 of these yesterday. They're so delicious, you guys. This one has ricotta inside of it. And I had one of these at the airport earlier. This is like a little, it tastes like a Pop-Tart with dates inside. It's really, really delicious. And all 3 of these are Maltese snacks, I guess you could say. This is a caramel infused latte. And this is just a drink that you can get at the Starbucks Reserves. This tastes so much better than a regular latte, you guys. I don't know what they did to it, but this is like a 10 out of 10. So yeah, having fun in Malta, and we're at the Starbucks Reserve. The outside of these, you guys, they're so crispy. It's like a flaky Fido dough. Kind of reminds me of baklava on the outside. Yesterday I had some of these with chicken and mushroom, and they were just like the best things I've ever eaten. These are so, so good, you guys. Oh my goodness, you guys, they have so many different flavors. I think I'm gonna get coffee, cherry, maybe lemon. This looks so amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you guys, look at this. I got cherry chocolate, lemon, and orange. I'm outside of, I think it's called Amarino. But look at how pretty this is, you guys. They give you like a little rose ice cream cone. It had a macaroon on it, but this pigeon took it instead. So we're sharing today. It's so good, you guys. I kind of don't want to eat it though because it looks so nice. I don't want to ruin it. It's so pretty. You guys, Malta has a mixture of basically everything. They have the buildings from the Roman periods. They have the little shutters from the French periods. They have Baroque style from the Spanish. They have little touches from the English. It's like they took every major colonizer and they just like mixed it up all into one. It's a really unique place. It's really, really cool. You guys, I have no idea how to pronounce the name of this, but it's a fresh food market here in Valletta. And we're gonna go inside and see what all the hype is about. This is like the Erewhon of Malta, basically. So all of the food is on the first level. They have this whole place for food and vendors. It looks like a lot of Maltese food, but they also have like ice cream, coffee. Oh, it looks like they have like a candy shop over here.
La mamma fortezza. E questa non è la fortezza, però se è la fortezza.
All right, you guys, I'm here at Casa, Rocca, Piccola. This looks really cool, though. It's a 16th century palace of the Maltese noble family. So this is going to be really cool. I'm really excited. Excuse me. Okay, guys, so I got my phone charged, and I was going to bring you guys out here just to show you a little bit. So this is the terrace outside. There's this cute little bird over here. His name is Kiku, and he's Kiku the Third. He's basically like a member of the Maltese family, the noble family. Hi, Kiku.
What he said.
And then if you look up here, the third floor is the brand new floor that they just made. You can kind of see how different it is from the first two floors, but that's where the family, the noble family, lives still today. So this palace is still used, which is kind of cool. And then if we go upstairs, we'll see some artifacts up here. This is a dining room that the noble family of Malta still uses today. And you can see all their silver there. That's two members of the royal family. I think that's the two people who live here right now. But those are paintings of when they were younger. But this is the dining room. And then when we go in here, there's all these beautiful paintings up here at the very top. This used to be called the Asian room. And here is a whole bunch of collectible silver. These things over here are to wear around your neck. You would put like fragrance inside of them. So well, basically you wouldn't smell. This is like the grandma of the monarch, or the noble family, I should say. And she's the one who collected all of these silver pieces here. This is really, really cool. So this is an old 17th century map of Malta. And you can see the towns used to be named different names back then. There's Gozo. Many people say Gozo is even better than the main island of Malta, so I'm gonna come back and go to Gozo later on. This is where Kiku lives, or this is his bedroom. And here are some more paintings of the royal family or the noble family. This is a really cool area. So this used to be a courtyard, and it used to have a garden down at the bottom. And then all of the light would come in from the very top of the ceiling. But they patched it up. This is some lace. Maltese lace is very, very expensive and rare. Malta is known for their lace. You'll see a whole bunch of handmade lace shops around Gozo when you go. And here's some more Maltese lace at the very, very top. You'll see the fans have all of this Maltese lace here. It's pretty cool. Sorry. This room is really cool. The flooring is original. This is the only room of the house with original tile. Every other tile has been replaced. So this is the only room with original. And then this thing is really cool. So this wardrobe actually opens up into an altar. You can see over to the right what it looks like when it opens up. And there's only about 10 of these wardrobes in all of Malta. This is just one of 10 of them. But but it basically converts the room so that you can have mass in the room. So that's really cool. This is a picture from the christening of the latest daughter born in the noble Malta family. And these are the current members of the Malta family. This room is really special. They've been holding mass here for years and years and years, and they've gotten some gifts from the Pope throughout the years. These gold earrings were from the Pope. They were given to, I think her name's Francesca. She's the kind of like the grandmother, the current grandmother who lives here. And then the Pope usually gives his slippers, and he only gives one. So you'll see that there's not 2 slippers of each pair. There's only one because the Pope doesn't want people wearing his slippers. So you'll see from Pope Leo, Pope Clement, Pope Pius or Pius. These are all gifts or religious relics that were given to the family throughout the years. This is another dining room that's still used by the noble family. And there's genealogy of the nobles on both sides as well, which is really cool. And then the door just leads to another sitting room. Actually, let's go over there. This room is one of the many terraces that you'll see in Malta. And they say usually people will be outside of their windows and they'll kind of peek out and kind of like keep a watch on the neighborhood. So Malta, you know, the Maltese people are kind of like a big clan. One of the modern members of the noble family actually uses this room as a kind of like an office. And then there's also a little lookout over there that you can see out of as well. I don't know if they still use this, but you can open this up and then you can see the street out from here. You can look at people basically. And back in the day they would have an open area on the floor, or it would be a see-through area where you could sit and then look who was coming to your door in the past as well. This is again a dining room that they'll have dinners at. And this is a collection of all of the archives that they've been collecting for over 400 years. You'll see back there, there's some folders, so it's still actively used as a place to archive documents, which is really cool. These are all collectible items that were collected by the noble Maltese family. This is again something to put, this is handmade, it's a handmade piece of jewelry, the crosses. And then if you look on the other side, they have all of these chess pieces. And something important to note is that the queen and the Maltese chess pieces are not actually queens because they required the kings to stay celibate. So there's no queens in these chess pieces over here. This is again another lookout. And this is what they would carry the noble family in. So they would get to sit in here, basically like a personal taxi. And I believe, I can't remember who this guy is. This is a famous guy. I think he was the one who created this. I think he's the creator of this actual device to carry people around in. This is a really special room. This is some more Maltese lace over here on the crib. And then if you come around here, this is the bed, the marital bed of Ursula. Ursula was one of the main members of the noble family of Malta. She gave birth to 9 kids on this bed, and they all lived to be healthy. So it's tradition to rub the one of the posts because they say that you'll have healthy kids if you rub the post of the bed. And here's some beauty tools. And then if we come in here, this is a seating area. This is called the green room. The chandelier, this one is from Venice. There's another one that we passed by. That one was from Czech. And Malta used to be part of Britain until 1964, I believe. So this is a really, really important piece of this is a very important document. This is the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II, which the royal family of Malta, or the noble family of Malta, I should say, was invited to. This is a picture. This is actually when Queen Elizabeth lived in Malta. She lived in Malta for 3 years before she was crowned queen. And there's Philip on the left-hand side there. She said that when she lived in Malta, it was actually the best 3 years of her life. So I wouldn't doubt that either. Malta is such an amazing place. And then this is the coronation of King George. So really, really amazing. And of course, the royal family was invited to both coronations. They were not invited to Charles' coronation because they're no longer part of Britain. So they've kind of fallen out of touch with the British royal family ever since. And then this room is, let me see, what's going on in this room again? I can't remember. Oh, okay. So these paintings up here, these are really important. The guy who painted these paintings, I believe he was a member of the noble family. I can't remember, but anyways, he didn't like Carnival. He banned people from wearing masks on Carnival. They celebrate Carnival here just like they do in the Caribbean or any other nations that are mainly Catholic. So I think his name was, I can't remember his name. I'd have to put it in the video later, but basically he banned people from wearing masks, so they make fun of him and they call people who don't like to party his name when they're making fun of someone. And then these are members of the current family. I think her name is Francesca, the one who's married currently. I don't know all their names, to be honest. I think these are the 2 youngest members, or that's the youngest member. They still knight people here, so that's the gown that they wear to knight people in Malta. But yeah, this is just like some of their family pictures. I think this is Francesca. Yeah, that's the grandmother who lives here right now, and then her husband. That's a picture from their wedding. It's kind of cool to see that. That's more Maltese lace. You can barely see it because it's so fragile, but this is more Maltese lace as well. This is another painting of Francesca and her husband from when she was younger. And here is a 400-year-old wardrobe. This isn't a special wardrobe, but it is 400 years old, so older than most countries, which is pretty impressive. It has orange wood and another wood on top of it to give it that unique design. So that's really amazing. This is again another dining room, and these ships right here are actually made to carry around salt around the table. You would put salt at the very top of the ship, and then you'll see the little wheels. The wheels would go around the table and basically give salt to the entire table. There's still little bowls to wash your hands. In this dining room, it's still used for Christmas, Easter, special occasions. And there's a really big collection of silver over here. It's pretty impressive. That's pretty cool. Excuse me. And that's it for this, this part. These two paintings, this is when Malta got electricity. So you'll see the woman wearing the Maltese colors. She has the positive and negative in her hands, and then you'll see little light bulbs hanging. That's a painting from one of the members of the Maltese family. This is the current noble. I can't remember his name, but this painting was actually painted by his niece. So the Maltese noble family is very, very artistic, obviously. There's a lot of paintings that were done by them actually here, so that's pretty cool. Let's go down to the bomb shelter, and that will kind of conclude, this. The other amazing thing about this part of Valletta is that 80% of Valletta was bombed during World War II. Only 20% remained original, so that palace or that place that we just took a tour through, that's one of the original places, and then all of these streets are all original too, but 80% isn't. They had to be rebuilt. So it's pretty cool to see a piece of history like that hasn't been tarnished by war. It's pretty rare. I think that's an art museum. What does that say? It's even attacked Malta, stories of sexual and gender identity. Oh my gosh. That's so insane. Could you imagine getting so excited to come over to Malta and thinking that they were going to have an exhibit on the history of Malta and then finding that? Oh my gosh. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. This place is kind of like Italy, but better with less tourists. This is a train tour you can take around Malta. It's pretty cute. And the Triton fountains are finally on. The last time I was here they were off, but it looks like they come on in the evening.